Hello, everyone. This is Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. I hope you're having a wonderful life. Life is worth living. And I'm just glad to be here with you all this morning to speak on something that um, has really blessed my life as far as my journey. And this is something new that's happening, and I'm glad of the progression that's happening in my life as I continue to walk out my journey with my weight loss and the changes that I'm making from within. And this morning when I got up, I was laying in the bed and I was just thinking about some things that are transpiring in my life and that has caused me fear. I said caused me fear because now that I understand what's causing the fear, then I need to work on changing some things from within me. See, we cannot change what we don't know, or if we're not willing to go to the root cause of our situations and circumstances that is causing us inward turmoil. So I was up in this morning in prayer, and I was just talking to God, and I was saying, why am I feeling so much fear? And the reason why I'm feeling fear is because there are things that are going on in my world right now that I really don't have the answers to. I don't really know the outcome of what's going to be happening in my life. And I'll let you know a little bit about it. My dad told me when he was living, he said, Dorcas, always keep a roof over your head, something to eat. And I talked about that several times on some of the webcasting. And so because I felt like that I was paying my rent a month in advance, that I was doing what he told me to do. And I thought that it would always guarantee me a place of living. I would never have to worry about going somewhere or having to move. And so I was paying my rent, and I'm still paying my rent a month in advance. But then I had to really look and see, why are you paying your rent a month in advance? Is it because of fear? Now, I want to tell us a little bit. I looked up fear, and the noun for fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or threat. The verb is to be afraid, as likely to be dangerous, painful, or threatening. So, what I was doing, because my father had told me right before he died, always keep a roof over your head, always keep something to eat, always have a credit card. He was giving me these things as a father, wanting me to make sure that I could survive in this world. And then he said, Dorcas, the reason why I'm telling you this, Velma has a family, Garland has a family, Joan has a family, and you don't have a family. You don't have nobody, Dorcas. So you got to make sure you do these things in order for you to survive. I heard those words, and but what has happened is, after he died, fear gripped my heart, wondering what's going to happen to me when I don't have what my siblings have. And so I began to walk around in fear and do things based out of fear of making sure that I have a place and a roof over my head. So what am I going to do? He didn't tell me to pay my rent a month in advance. He said, make sure you keep a roof over your head. So what I did, because I was, okay, I don't have nobody. What am I going to do? What if something happened? Pay your rent a month in advance. And I believed that something dangerous could happen to me. And it has happened to me. Because even though I paid my rent a month in advance, it didn't guarantee me a roof over my head right here where I'm living. I always thought this is where I'm going to live until I get ready to go somewhere else because I pay my rent a month in advance. Now, hear what I'm saying. When we have the wrong belief system about a thing, if it's wrong, it will come out wrong. So there's a problem here in my apartment, and I don't know what I'm going to do because the circumstances and around it is I'm not getting the answers that I think that I should get and I deserve. But this morning when I was praying, I said, God, what is it? And he said, there's something between us. And so I'm wondering, well, what's between me and God? And the thing that in prayer was, it's the spoken words. It's the words that your Father have spoken to your life, and you have took those words to heart, and it has caused fear in you because you're wondering, now what am I going to do if I have to move? Where am I going to go? It's been to the point where I said, God, I don't even have a car. You know, I gave my car away in 2015 because of it was a sports car. It was too low for me to get down in. I gave it away. I don't even have a car. And I was telling God, I don't even have a car to sleep in if I have to leave here. And I got a sister here, and I know her house is full, and I got people here that have said I could come and stay with them. But I begin to feel homeless. How could I feel homeless when my rent is paid a month in advance? And there's some health issues here, and I really got to address them to see what I need to do. But what God was showing me, that something between us is your Father. You're relying on your natural dad and those words that he spoke over you and to you to continue to help you maneuver through life. And God wants me to depend on him because he's the one that will never leave nor forsake us. He's the one that's going to provide for me. So my greatest strength is figuring out things. I can figure out anything on a computer, and I've told you guys this before. I can figure out a lot of things, but usually when it comes to my life, there's a lot of things that I have a lot of questions about, and that becomes my greatest weakness. So when I can't find the answer, what has happened is I move into a place of fear. Now, you might say, well, why be afraid? Because you're used to a certain lifestyle, and you're not used to things happening in your life that you're not familiar with. But you can't let fear be the operating system. Well, I'm using computers. You can't let fear be the operating emotion in your life to cause us to do things that we're doing because of a wrong belief. I'm talking about a wrong belief. And when we get words that are spoken into our life, we have to be careful, because if you get a wrong belief, you're going to get the wrong thing sowed in our life. And see, words are like seeds. Words are seeds. And when they're planted in our heart, if we nourish it and keep rehearsing it, it's going to grow. Anything that we water that's of a seed nature, it will grow. So if someone speaks something in your life and you just keep nursing it and rehearsing it and believing it, see, it's the belief system that this could happen Something dangerous might happen. Um, I'm horrified. I'm agitated. I got all these things going on inside of me. I'm fearful. I'm afraid of. I'm scared. 9 times out of 10, we're speaking our own life. We're making our own self prophecies of our life. We cannot afford to walk around in fear. So, what I was up this morning and I just heard as I was praying, a new paradigm, a new way of thinking. Yes, you need to keep a roof over your head, but you know that you're going to pay your rent. And you don't have to pay your rent a month in advance. You just need to pay your rent. And you need to pay your rent on time. Just like I pay my cable, I don't think about that. Just like I pay my insurances, I don't think about that. Because that wasn't what he was talking to me about. I pay my bills. Because they trained us. We saw examples in our home that that's what they did. But the things that I'm so fearful about is that a roof over my head, I'm not married, and I don't have no kids. And I'm telling you, those three things drive me. Because sometimes I'm sitting here in the house and I say, okay, what if something happens to you? And that's why when I get sick, that's the very first thing that comes to my mind. You don't have nobody as a connected family. Now, I have my sister. My sister is great, and that's not what I'm talking about. But my sister has her own family. She has her own thing going on. But I'm over here, and I'm a part of her family, but I'm not the family that has a connected in where I have somebody coming in and in and out of my house, and I got some children that I can say that these are my children, you know. And there's been times I sit up here and I say, you know what, I should have had some kids, married or not married. There's things that have just been going through my mind. And so this morning, a new paradigm, a new way of thinking. And so if we're operating out of fear, out of anything of our life, yours might not be an apartment with mold in it, and you don't know what you're going to do. And yours might be that you're working a lot of hours because you're afraid of losing your job, and you're afraid you're going through your marriage, and you're walking around in fear, and you're hoping this don't happen, and you're hoping your kids don't get on drugs, and we're just hoping and hoping, and we don't find the root cause of all these things that are going on inside of us. My goodness, it causes turmoil. So the new part of my journey, the part where I needs to go now, is that I need to say something between us, the words that were spoken between us. When those words come up in my spirit, in my heart, in my mind, that I got to realize that no, you are not alone, because I'm not alone. And I just don't mean, I just not saying that. I am not alone. I have people that love me right now and would never, ever, ever let me sleep outside. I know that. I have those kind of friends. I have those kind of family. My sister Velma would never, ever let me live outside. So what is the fear? The fear is coming from spoken words that were interpreted the wrong way. I don't know what's going to happen to where I live, but this is what I do know. I know that God will never leave me nor forsake me. So a new paradigm happened this morning. I said, okay, I got to have a new way of thinking, because I said, God, I'm not sleeping like I need to, because sleep and rest is very important to our bodies, to our mind, and to my journey as my weight loss journey. And sleep is just important. And I tell you, it's not only sleep that's important after I did the study on sleep, but it's resting. It's resting our body. And I cannot afford to go back to where I come from because of what's happening in my world right now. So that's why I constantly try to examine myself, because you see, it's easier to go back than it is to keep going forward. How could you say that, Dorcas? Because going back is something you're familiar with, something that I'm familiar with. And so the familiar is always trying to pull us back. I don't know what's going to happen in the future. So then that's why I have to walk by faith. It's unseen. I don't know. It's trusting. It's believing. It's hoping. And those things take more faith and courage and perseverance to do rather than just slipping back where we come from. I can't go back because I've worked too hard to keep going. And I can't go back because God won't let me go back. He has ordained this journey for me, and I'm talking to people, and I'm telling people, and I'm telling you, people are doing exercises in the bed. People are eating right. I'm studying things. I've had my therapist them here. They've told me about different foods and just different things that I'm doing. And I'm telling you, they were here, and for the first time in my life, I had stood up and I didn't have any pain in my body. And then they brought there was two therapists that came here at one time, and the senior therapist told me, Dorcas, I need to see you walk. And I got up and I walked from my living room to my back door, and I walked without my walker. I walked down the hall. I came in my room without my walker, and I'm telling you, I was walking without pain, and I cannot go back because there are so many great things that are happening to me. People see them happening to me, and God is using my life for His glory, and I thank Him for what He's doing, and I refuse to give up, even at an older age. And and that's what I want to tell you also. It does not matter how old you are. I'm speaking to people that are in their 90s and they're doing things in the bed. They're getting up. I'm telling you, I was like, well, God, what do I do about this, that, and the other? He said, I sent those therapists in here. They've showed you how to do exercise, sitting up. It's time for you to sit up and get up. And that's what I've been doing. And I tell you, I feel wonderful. But there was a couple of weeks that I felt like, what am I doing? But when I caught myself, I said, you know what? You got to keep going. So there will be times that maybe you may just say, you know what? I can't do it anymore. Brush yourself off. Get yourself up, get back in the race, because realize that is life. And our emotions can be one thing today and something else tomorrow. So when your emotions are going up and down, and you need to find out what is causing it. When my life is smooth, it's nothing. I can just do whatever, and I'm eating, and I thank God for that. I know that I'm not. God is going to help me to continue on this journey, and I'm excited about it. And I hope that whatever is going on in your life, that you can just persevere. Persevere means you got to push. You got to just push past yourself, your emotions, and our thoughts, and what we believe. What we believe, is it true? Is it based in truth, or is it fear-based? And I may not have all those things that my dad said I didn't have, but I tell you this one thing that I can tell you. I have God. And God will never leave Dorcas nor forsake her. And guess what? He will never leave you. He loves you too much. Hey, I hope this has been a blessing to you, something between us. And sometime if you're agonizing and going through different things, see, has there been a spoken word that someone has spoken over your life? Or not only someone, but what are you speaking over your life? Is it something that's going to cause you to grow, or is it taking you back in your mind? If it's not going to cause you to prosper, then you need to figure out how to uproot that thing and say, no, 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 no. I don't have to pay my rent a month in advance. I just need to pay my rent. No, 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 no. I don't have no kids, but I'm still who I am. And this is the way God has made me. And so I don't have no kids, but I have a lot of friends. And even though I don't have a lot of friends like I used to, but I got God. And I don't have a husband, but I got God. And you say, well, Dorcas, that's different because you can't feel him, you can't touch him, you can't this, you can't that. Yeah, but I'm telling you, he'll do you better than anybody else in this world will ever do you. He will never leave you. He will never leave you comfortless. He will never leave you by yourself. And I'm not saying husbands and wife will leave each other. I'm just saying that for those of us who don't have whatever we don't have, we have to put our trust in God. And even people that do have it, they still have to put their trust in God. A new paradigm, a new way of thinking. This morning, I got a new way of thinking. And I know that my life is in God's hand. And whatever way he want to turn it, I know that he will. And it's going to be for his glory. Because you know what? I'm not only getting up from here, I am up. I really. There's so many great things happening in my life that what's going on right now, it don't even compare to the things and the way that I have come on my journey in these 3 years. I have come a long way with the help of God. Hey, this has been Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com. And this is what I want to tell you. Never give up. Never. I mean never give up. Don't turn around because there's nothing back there. The only thing you have going for you and me right now is our future. I love you. You be blessed. Dorcas Chandler at dorcasgazelle.com.